right now at 6. Home should be where the heart is, but now some Hartford residents are speaking out against a negligent landlord. We have the details on their current living conditions.
And the hunt for the protester who's hung a Palestinian flag on a menorah continues. We're going to tell you what witnesses say they saw.
And later on at the half hour, abortion rights across America, where our state stands amid one Texas woman's abortion request being rejected by the Supreme Court in that state.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Thanks so much for starting your day off with us here at Fox 61 America Areas.
And I'm Symphony Privet. Hope you're having a great one so far. Let's go ahead and get you up to speed with what's happening outside. Welcoming back meteorologist Matt Scott.
Good to be back.
Hello.
Good morning to you ladies. Nice to be here after what has been a very sloppy and soggy Sunday into Monday. We finally settled things down a little bit. Quiet stretch of weather with sunshine, seasonal temperatures. It is winter, or at least officially getting to be winter over the next week or so. Is there any winter weather anytime soon? We'll answer that question coming up. Satellite radar is quiet, not seeing much on the board except the flow that's becoming more westerly, expanding the view. Little lake effect up in way northern New York. That's not playing into our forecast at all. 34 in Hartford, 38 in New Haven, 33 in Groton. Good morning to Norwich and Waterbury, both at 30. Torrington brings up the rear, 29. Factor in a very light wind, 5 to 10 miles an hour. You drop it down to the upper 20s, lower 30s across the board. Nothing to worry about at the bus stop for the forecast. Bring the jackets though. 33 degrees. I don't know why that says mostly cloudy. We're pretty quiet and clear across much of the board. And if you do have a few clouds, you won't later on this afternoon as we get into the low to mid 40s. Talk about the rest of the week coming up. See if there is any taste of winter on the way. Let's get a taste of traffic right now. I get saved first time in a few days. Good morning to Rachel Piscatelli.
Hey, good morning, Matt. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Nothing like coming back when it's really quiet out, right? Yeah, it's like you knew or something. No, it's fine. All right, 6:02 right now. Good to have you back. We are looking overall pretty quiet out on the roads. We do have one road closure to tell you about this morning over in Pomfret. This is going to be Route 244 is closed at Angel Road due to some water over the roadways. I'd imagine that there's not much water on the road now, but we'll let you know when that reopens. Also, just be mindful that any areas that experienced some flooding yesterday, because our temperatures are dipping below freezing in spots, there could be some isolated slick spots out on the roads. 84 east and westbound out by 46 and 47 looking pretty good this morning. Road work has wrapped up in the area. And over in New Haven, 91 heading towards that I-95 interchange just out by exit 8. We do have volume, but overall looking pretty good. So your drive times there, New Haven to Bridgeport, it's 28 minutes. Travel speeds are just around 46 miles per hour on the southbound side of 95. Not bad heading into Bridgeport. Symphony, Erica, back to you.
All right, Rachel, thanks so much. Well, this morning, Hartford leaders are planning to visit an apartment building that tenants say is in horrible shape. People who live there took their concerns to City Council last night, and they were not alone.
Yeah, so they described a number of problems. It said their landlords won't do anything to help them out. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin joining us live at City Hall with more on how the city is now responding. Brooke.
Well, today the City Council president is going to be visiting that Wethersfield Avenue apartment building. And last night, a city inspector was also there as well to really check out what is going on. Now, those tenants that we've been talking to say they've been trying to get their landlord to fix this for months. They've been trying to get their voices heard as well for months. Last night's council meeting was packed full of Hartford residents who say the apartments and homes they live in are just not up to the mandated living standard. Some tenants say they are living with bugs, mold, and no way to stay warm in the winter. They say each building comes with various issues. We told you about the building being visited back in the one that's being visited today back in October. The Wethersfield Avenue residents have been voicing concerns over their living conditions for months, but still no word from their New Jersey-based landlord with Arlington Management. The company has not returned our calls either. Residents in multiple buildings across the capital city say they need the changes made or the rent increases will continue to be ignored.
I'm very fortunate that I don't have heat issues, but I have rodent issues, which I had in the past. Even bed bugs and trash, littering, a lot of garbage, defecation, as I spoke about tonight, urination. A lot of homeless people, they're using my building as a shelter, and it's rough.
And the city council members say if you're somebody that's also dealing with issues at your rented apartment or home, you can call 311 to start to get those addressed. You can get your voice heard. And if that's not working, go ahead and call your city council member. They're going to try to help you as well. Live in Hartford, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Alrighty, thank you, Brooke. We'll check back in with you later on this morning. New this morning at 6:05, a Rhode Island man accused of making a bomb threat at Yale New Haven Hospital 2 years ago has pleaded guilty.
Yeah, authorities say 44-year-old Alexander Bradley called the hospital in May of 2021 and said that he placed a pressure cooker bomb right outside the building. Well, Bradley told a worker that he had been denied service at the hospital. Now, the threat turned out to all be a hoax, thankfully. Bradley will be sentenced in March. The U.S. Senate is going to hear from survivors of sexual assault at the Coast Guard Academy today. A report found the Academy mishandled dozens of sexual assault allegations. Last week, the Coast Guard admitted to the mishandlings in an internal review. The report includes 33 initial actions to ensure members are free from harassment, assault, hazing, bullying, hate, and also retaliation. Lawmakers say those actions don't go far enough. Police in Seymour arresting a man who they say sexually assaulted a child. Officials filing charges against 49-year-old Yulton Diaz of Derby. They say he was having a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old girl. The arrest coming after a months-long investigation.
A former Connecticut police officer has been arrested again. Police released these photos from a burglary at Loco Pero restaurant over in East Hampton. The photos reportedly show Patrick Hemingway inside the restaurant after breaking in. He's accused of taking money from the cash register. Hemingway is suspected of dozens of burglaries in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. He's also accused of accessing the state's criminal database illegally. He resigned from the force a couple of months ago. 6:07 now, a Hartford man will go before a judge for the first time in connection with the death of his girlfriend. Police say Vincent Blair shot and killed Monisha Collins. Her family found her dead in her apartment earlier this month. Police arrested Blair in Pennsylvania. He's now in Connecticut, and he's being held on a $5 million bond. Middletown police say a woman driving with a toddler in the back seat died after a crash with a tow truck last night. Well, this happened on South Main Street near the intersection of Round Hill Road. According to police, the 3-year-old was in the car seat. We're told the toddler and tow truck driver are expected to be okay.
Breaking overnight, 22 officers are dead and 32 others are hurt after a suicide bomber attacked a police station in northwest Pakistan. Officials say the bomber set off his explosive vehicle at the police station's main gate. An officer there says 3 attackers were killed in the shootout between militants and security forces.
6:08 now, and today the UN will pick up its emergency session on what's currently happening in Gaza. Well, this all comes just days after the United States vetoed the United Nations resolution for a ceasefire.
Yeah, a top official from the UN staff says that the group feels abandoned after the veto vote. According to the Hamas-controlled health ministry, the number of people killed in the Israeli attacks in Gaza has risen to more than 18,000.
On Monday, the West Bank became a ghost town as calls for a ceasefire grow. The silent support came from Palestinians in the West Bank and Jerusalem protesting against the Israeli war on the Gaza Strip. Shops, public agencies, schools, and banks shut their doors in a show of solidarity with Gaza. 6:09 now, President Biden hosted a Hanukkah reception at the White House yesterday. The president celebrating the Festival of Lights alongside First Lady Jill Biden and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff. Biden took time to address a rise in anti-Semitism in America stemming from the Israel-Hamas war.
It's been clear that our administration stands with them, arm in arm in arm. We're not going to walk away. We're aggressive.
Biden went on to show his support by saying in part, quote, "We must hold on to the core values that make us Americans, values that from the inception of our nation have shaped the culture, the contribution, and the values of Jewish Americans," end quote.
Developing this morning, New Haven police are still on the hunt for a protester caught on camera hanging a Palestinian flag from a Hanukkah menorah near the Yale campus. It happened during a massive ceasefire protest in the Elm City. Witnesses say the man broke off from the larger group, but he is yet to be identified. Now, at this time, no criminal charges are going to be filed because the menorah was never damaged.
At this point, while the incident was hateful, it does not appear in the various parties' assessment that it triggers a hate crime.
Those who organized Saturday's protest released a group statement saying what happened does not align with their goals of promoting respectful dialogue and peaceful advocacy. Witnesses also say other protesters immediately told the man who jumped on the menorah to get down. A Connecticut man who allegedly threatened a local government official will face a judge today. Wayne Waldron allegedly threatened to burn a cross in a yard of a board selectman, Jay Hewelbank. Waldron also made remarks about Hewelbank's Jewish faith. According to reports, Hewelbank and Waldron have known each other for more than 30 years. And as the war between Israel and Gaza continues to play out, Connecticut's news station remains committed to tracking the latest in the Middle East and the impact that it's having here and at home. We hope you download the free Fox 61 News app to get those updates, and you can also stay up to date with us here on air and online at fox61.com.